Hello and welcome to Girlstreamers. This is a podcast bringing you the girl streamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora and I will be your host during this interview. Tonight we will be interviewing IndieGarona, and if there's time at the end, we will take questions from the audience in the channel. This is a live podcast, but we will also be available for download on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. What's up, Indy? How you doing? How was your week?
What's up, Nymph? Happy New Year.
Did you have a good holiday season?
It was interesting this year. Interesting is probably the best word I can use for it. But, yeah. Got through.
Yeah, ours was interesting too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We had
one of those.
The dysfunctional family kind of holiday seasons. Yeah, that was ours.
That's yep, I'm there with you there. Yep. I mean, it's you get through them. Family's awesome, but then you just look forward to a new and better year, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm enjoying the new year and the new life and all this new stuff, including being here with you. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for wanting to be on. Yeah, you've had like me, you've had a rough year. You had a rough 2016. So this is a great way to start it off. Just promoting all the awesome stuff, which we will actually get to that a little bit later when we get to the, deeper stuff. I like to ease everybody in a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for willing to be on and talk about everything. So I'm looking forward to this interview.
Me too, definitely.
So first and foremost, how did you come up with the name IndieGarona?
So people ask me this all the time, and it's really strange because I got my start in World of Warcraft. So Indie started back in the day, back when I started, and I harp on the past of WoW all the time because it was so different, and if you weren't part of it, you wouldn't understand. But back then, there was no server jumping, there was no faction changing. You were pretty much locked into the character that you started, and I was an Alliance mage turned Horde priest. And when I decided to be a priest, because I loved healing, and I didn't want to do anything else, and then I decided that I wanted to be on the Horde, all my friends were like, oh, you're on your own. So I rolled a priest named Indy. She was like independently on the other faction, just starting off on her own. And I liked the name, and I don't know. It was just it's stuck. And the server that I started WoW on, and you can still find me on today, is Garona. And nice. I'm also a fan of the lore of World of Warcraft. So Garona is also, a badass character that I love. So IndieGarona is that's where it started.
I had a feeling it came from Warcraft, and I am showing my little Garona Funko Pop. If you watch this stream,
yeah, I can see now because I have it open.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember those days. My husband was the same way. All of his friends wanted to play Alliance, and he's like, "No, I want to play Horde," because he wanted to play Undead. And finally one day he was like, screw it, I'm gonna go roll a Horde. And I met him on the Horde server.
That's awesome. So it's like World of Warcraft love story.
Yeah, we totally met in game. I love Warcraft.
I have to confess that's kind of something that I wish would happen for me someday. It's the best kind.
You can find some good people in Warcraft, I'm telling you, man.
It's true. Dating sites don't do it. Just Warcraft.
Warcraft is the new dating site.
It is.
I know people who met in Halo and like Call of Duty, and I'm like, I understand how you meet in Warcraft, but how do you meet in like those games? Like,
you shoot each other's faces. I don't know. Like, I used to play first-person shooter before I was into Warcraft. Like, I did a lot of console gaming, so I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, man. But that's awesome. I love that you're a fellow WoW player. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
I like WoW people.
I love WoW people.
So, do you ever go to BlizzCon?
I went to, my first BlizzCon was in 2011, and that was incidentally when I was getting started. with video making, and back then streaming was it was like starting to be a thing. Twitch had just become it was Justin TV and then Twitch. So I was in the first, it was like a little tiny, there's no TwitchCon, it was like a little tiny gathering of streamers. And BlizzCon was interesting because it was like, that was the same year I think I visited Disney. And I remembered, I was like, BlizzCon was way better than Disney. It's like Disney for World of Warcraft geeks. It was a whole new experience for me. I'd never been to a convention before. So being able to see, like, I'm like, these are my people. I feel at home here. And I feel like no matter who I would turn to in this entire convention center, I would find somebody who would, like, get me and understand me.
Heck yeah.
It's an amazing community.
Do you plan on trying to go this year?
This year, I'm definitely, like, come hell or high water, I need to be there. I just need to, because for the past few years, I've been unable. And I'm like, now that I'm back and it's like full time, full force for me, it's important because I've made so many friends in this community. And even outside of World of Warcraft, like I have friends that just play Overwatch. I have friends that just play Diablo. But this is like the Blizzard community is strong.
It is.
It's amazing.
Oh, God, yes.
It's amazing.
Oh, definitely. Well, husband and I plan on going together this year, which I wanted him to go last year with me, but, you know, funding. So hopefully we will get to see you this year.
Oh, definitely. Yes. And I tell people, I'm like, just come find me, even if I don't have like any kind of like meetup set up, or like, I just want to meet people. Cause like you feel, and this is something that people don't outside the community don't get, is that you make these friends, these amazing friendships and these amazing connections with people. And then when you meet them, it's just like you've known them for years.
Oh, God, yes. Yes. Yeah, God, you're exactly right. And what's funny is I went out there without having a ticket at all. I didn't have a ticket. I got a ticket the day it opened. And I went out Tuesday and left Monday because there are so many parties, there's so many meetups that just hanging out with people the week up to the weekend of BlizzCon is just as fun as going to BlizzCon itself.
That's what I'm doing for PAX East. I'm actually going with only a 1-day badge for the entire weekend because so many streamers, and I know it's not BlizzCon, but it's like kind of the same theory in that I'm going just because of the people. I'm banking on having way more fun hanging with the people than just like checking things out inside the convention center. So I'm excited.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey. And I've always been from New Jersey, but I did spend 10 years in Pennsylvania and 3 years in New York. So I've always been Northeast coast. But the goal is that, you know, I don't know how long down the road, but my sights are set on living out in California and being around because, you know, I have so many streamer pals that have been around since the beginning of Twitch, and all of them have made their way, you know, to California. Even Tally, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but we started at the same time, and he used to be from Jersey, and he made his way out there, and he's an amazing streamer now. Like I want to have that kind of success that brings me out there where I'm happy, where I'm around the people that mean the most to me, where, you know, where I can thrive. And I think that's really the place to thrive if you're in this industry.
I didn't realize you're a Jersey girl. I've got a friend who's up there as well that I met her.
Don't hold it against me.
I met her for the first time at BlizzCon, and it was really awesome. So I don't have any negative things against Jersey girls, just saying. So
people don't like the way we drive. I can say that.
Well, but, let's be real. Nobody can really drive in this country.
This is true. It's very true. I lived in New York. I've seen the worst of the worst. Sorry, people, if you're from New York.
Hey, I live in Atlanta where there's no real Atlanta people there. They're all transplants. There are very few of us who are born and raised in the area.
That's true.
Absolutely nobody can drive in Atlanta. That's why you always get really horrible traffic when, you know, snow hits, because all these northerners are like, it's nothing. And I'm like, yes, it is, because we get ice. We don't get snow. It's completely different.
Yeah, I've heard that the world shuts down when it gets icy or snowy in Atlanta.
It does, only because it's only lasts like 2 or 3 days, and it's like, well, it's either I don't go to work or I pay extra taxes to fund for equipment to allow me to go to work for 2 days.
True.
It's just cheaper not to go to
Yeah,
work.
this is true.
So what is the first game that you have ever played that got you into the gaming world?
I'm gonna be aging myself here. So my brother and I have a brother who's 4 years older than me, and he's the one who really, because when you're a younger sibling, you're the second to see things and learn things, and he got me into computers. We had I'll say Atari was the first experience with gaming, but I wasn't like enthralled with it as much as when we got it was a Texas Instruments and then it was a Commodore 64. So I kind of started off PC gaming even way back in the day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
My husband started with the Commodore 64 and he talks about that thing all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and even it's not a game, but even going into the command prompts and making the computer talk was fun for me and my brother. We would make the computer curse so that our parents wouldn't yell at us. It was just that stupid kind of goofing around. But yeah, no, I fell in love with PC gaming a long time ago. And then, of course, NES came out when I was like old enough to be decently good at games, So then I obviously was really into things like Zelda, Mario, and like all that fun stuff as a kid growing up.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a part of my life growing up and again, I'm probably aging myself, but for a long time. But I would say that my heart has always been in PC gaming, and that I know that sets a divide between us and console people, but I'm really both. I enjoy both. Yeah.
Same. I enjoy both as well. I wish that I could stream my console gaming because I have a PS3, so and I still play all of my games.
I think when I'm able to get a capture card, I'll probably do that too, just for fun, because I don't think anybody's ever seen me play anything on console, so be just a little something different. But yeah, it's fun. I mean, I think that up until a certain point, the community was larger in well, still to a certain degree because MMOs on the PC platform, but I'm about the community. Like I've always been about the community. So that's kind of what draws me to what I do most now, which is World of Warcraft.
Yeah. And I think that, especially with streaming and stuff, the communities are starting to mesh now, where you have your Xbox and PS4 and PC gamers all, like, especially with games like Overwatch, where you can talk about the same thing. You're playing the same game now. Call of Duty is another one that, did that. You can't play with each other. I know Rocket League, you can cross-platform in a custom game, but only on console right now. I don't think you can cross-platform with a PC yet. But
I'd always wish that for Overwatch.
Yeah, I know that they said that if it ever happens, it's a long ways away. It's nowhere close. But I think that was one of their goals, was to eventually be able to cross-platform. But that would be really awesome because I'm an Overwatch player, as everybody knows.
Oh, I love Overwatch so much.
Me too.
I didn't plan on loving it as much as I do, but Mercy's my girl. And her name's Angela.
When they announced that game and I was down. I was ready. I've been waiting for this game for 2 years.
Yeah.
So excited.
I was super excited. I had a virtual ticket when they announced it, so I was watching things like a hawk and just waiting.
Hey man, that virtual ticket for BlizzCon, it's so worth it. Even if I don't ever go, I think I will actually always invest in the virtual ticket.
I have to, for one reason, and it's because I love the talent and cosplay competition. I love the music, the bands that come up with the original songs, and then the cinematics. I almost wish they would do an entire segment on the machinima competition.
They need to, honestly, especially with the esports stuff now, it needs to be more than 2 days. It needs to be more than 2 days because there is so much happening at BlizzCon. Like, it is ridiculous.
It would be amazing if it was, and I certainly hope that maybe one day it is, because there's so much more, and they also have so many more games out now. But for the reason, I mean, actually, where I was playing World of Warcraft long before I got into the whole YouTubing, video making thing, but Machinima was what grabbed me. I mean, I fell into it accidentally because I went and looked for something on a dungeon. We were raiding BWL, it was back in the day, and I found this video, and I'll never forget it. I wish I could remember who made it, but it was this amazing machinima that like told the story, not just like showed you the dungeon, but it told you the story of it. I was like, wow, I want to do that.
Nice. So, machinima is, I went to school for film, so we had to study it for part of the class, one of my classes, and this guy was debuting his he had made a machinima with San Andreas. Okay. And it wasn't good.
Oh
no. The music was entirely too loud, first of all. And I think that was only because they just didn't turn it down. It was an in-house problem. It wasn't a problem of, the movie maker. But it was just so... And I'm into indie films, but it was like super indie. Like he just stood there for like 5 minutes of the video and just going around Carl. I think that's his name. I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that game. But he's just going around him in circles. And I'm like, what the... This is the video? This is it?
Oh, man.
What are you doing? What the heck are you doing? This is so weird. So, awesome. Machinima is one of those things where I'm like, I've seen good and I've seen bad. I've seen it all. So I'm really picky about my machinimas that I watch.
I thought, and I don't know if it was the last BlizzCon or the one before, but the one that got a prize was where they were playing Hearthstone inside the inn in World of Warcraft. And that was so amazing.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Funny. It was so funny. Yeah. I just loved it. Yeah.
I like the clever ones like that a lot.
Yeah.
So how long have you been streaming, and what got you into streaming?
Okay, so this question comes up a lot because people are like, how are you a partner when you don't have like crazy numbers right now? And it's true, I don't, but that's because I was away for 2 years. But I actually started like streaming. My first experience was with, was it Xfire? Was that what it was?
Oh my God.
I want to say it was Xfire.
Yeah.
There was no interface. You just kind of captured your game and streamed it. And the reason I was doing that was because at the time I was making I got my start with doing not only goofy like machinima videos, but I was doing guides for healing. And I really enjoyed, like, part of being a healer is helping people. And so in that same nature, I always wanted to like put guides out and like help people get the best information that I found. And I wasn't about like keeping it all to myself. I wanted to put it out there. So part of the reason that I would start to show my game while I raided was just to show people how I healed and how we progressed through, I guess back then it was Ulduar. Yeah. That's when I started. So then it became Justin TV, and then it became Twitch, and myself and a handful of other, that back then there was a network called TGN. I think they're still out there, broadband TV now. We were like the first round of Twitch partners, I guess maybe on a guinea pig kind of level. There was no real sub button. It was just basically here, test out this dashboard and run commercials and see how it goes. And back in those days, we'd be like, okay, guys, don't go anywhere. We're gonna hit a commercial button. Just stick through it. We'll be right back. Like, because we had to run commercials. We don't do that anymore. But I mean, some people might.
I think if you still do, depending on what their, I think level is. I'm not sure. I know one streamer, she started adding, running ads to get people to. So if you're not a sub, you're going to definitely get an ad now But if you are a sub, you won't get the ad.
I can't do that. Like, I just don't, I don't know. I'm more about, you know, and I've been, like I said, now I'm telling you how long I've been around. So I am aging myself a little bit, but I'm like a Twitch dinosaur. And so I have been around long enough to be like, you know, I've been through the whole running of commercials. I prefer to just have this, I'm very interactive with my community. And that's like really why I love to continue doing what I do. So yeah, I mean, that's where I got my start. And the reason I'm still here is because of that. Like, if there was no community, I don't think it would be worth doing, because that's the whole purpose of streaming is, you know, I'm not just going to sit there. Now, when I first started, I had a really hard time interacting, and I had a really hard time putting myself on a webcam. There was there was a huge adjustment period.
I noticed when I started streaming that I had more people come in when I finally got a webcam.
Especially if you're a girl, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, probably because I'm a girl, but even my brother, he doesn't stream like I do. He just every so often he streams, and I'm like, if you want more people, you need a webcam. And he's like, okay. He didn't believe me, and like he went from 2 viewers to 10 viewers when he got a webcam, and I was like, see, because they want to see your face when you're streaming.
It's part of interacting too. I mean, like, and also for reactions too. Like, if something really amazing happens and you happen to not be sitting there on cam, some amazing loot drops or some really ridiculously embarrassing wipe happens, like, it's part of the whole, you know, it's you take the chance, but it's part of the whole experience.
Or when you're playing scary games and you don't really like playing scary games and you scream.
This happened because somebody's like, you need to do a scare stream. And I think I've only done 2, because I do get really legitimately, like, I live alone. So
God. I'd never do a scary stream if I lived alone.
So one time I did the scary stream because a viewer sent me, oh geez, I can't remember the name of the game anymore, but it was like the abandoned asylum. You're running around from this huge abomination.
Oh God.
I can't remember the name of it. I still have it and I never beat it, but I played it for a couple of hours, and you get into this mindset, like, you're getting super scared, and all of my alerts were jump scares, and, like, you know, just to make it extra fun. And then when I finished it, I turned the lights on in my apartment, and every light was on for the entire rest of the evening because I couldn't be in the dark.
Oh my God. Yep, I have recorded evidence of my jump scares. So
it was Outlast. Yeah,
Outlast.
That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, of course, Carice, the scary game person, would know that.
I'm like, it's this abandoned thing with this abomination, and oh yeah, that's it. What that game messes with if you're in it for long enough, you start to, like, you have this paranoia for the rest of the night, maybe even for the rest of the week. I don't know, but like,
that actually leads me to my next question.
And looking over your shoulder and like, look, oh man, that was, yeah.
That actually leads me to my next question. What is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you on stream?
I never had anything too super, like, personally embarrassing happen, but back when I was doing progression rating with like a well-known-ish guild, before I took a hiatus from Twitch, actually, I decided to go webcam on because a couple of my guildies were doing it, webcam on, and so we were all just, like, streaming our POVs, and we were on heroic hard mode and Firelands, and we wiped, and it was my fault, and it was blatantly my fault because I was on stream, and I did something so stupid, and then I just, like, started cursing myself. I didn't realize, because in the moment you're raging, but you don't realize that you're raging on webcam.
Yep.
So when I uploaded my video after the fact, because we would share our videos with each other, I blacked out the webcam because, like, my face, I looked like I was about to cry.
Oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah, it was bad. I just, like, sometimes you're in it, like, this is the thing, you're, like, rating hard modes, you're in it, and you don't see the webcam until you're like, oh, that just happened, you know, like.
Oh, snap. So
Yeah.
what type of games do you usually like to play and stream?
World of Warcraft is like a big love affair for me, even though I'm not crazy about a lot of the changes. It's like kind of like the thing where I'm married to it and I'll stay with it until it dies.
Yep.
Um, and Overwatch is, I love, love, love Overwatch because I have a lot of viewers that enjoy jumping in and playing with me, so that's fun. Custom matches when you have enough people are fun because then you get to pit, like, team against team.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes streamers against viewers is really fun. So I do enjoy Hearthstone, but I don't know that I enjoy streaming it as much because it's a thinking game and like it's not really super exciting. The people who stream Hearthstone are usually like super like MLG good at it, and
Yeah.
so I'm not. I play these really interesting decks that are like super gimmicky and like trolly. Like Fatigue Priest is an interesting deck, but it takes a long time to beat your opponent because obviously you fatigue them to death. 9 times out of 10, they'll see where it's going and concede. So it's not really interesting to watch. So I would say
you play like my husband.
I would say the Blizzard games, and then I do enjoy doing those scare streams, and I also enjoy, like, people send me games to play and I like to do something new and switch it up from time to time. Like, I'm
Nice.
still working my way through Life is Strange. It's a slower paced game, but it's interesting.
How do you like
I
it so
like
far?
I like a good story. I'm just waiting for, like, people. I have to put a disclaimer up there that I've never watched anybody play through this game, so please let me like watch it unfold
Yeah.
without spoiling it. So.
Yeah. I had a few people come in and spoil The Walking Dead when I was playing through season 1.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that's
I
no
played.
fun. You have to. I know you have to put like that disclaimer out there, like, this is my first playthrough. No spoilers. No backseating.
They asked, they're like, have you played this before? And I'm like, no, I haven't played it before. And they're like, oh, well, such and such happens, and then leave. I'm like, wow, that is extremely trolly. Good job, you dick.
Yeah.
But if you're enjoying Life is Strange and you haven't played Walking Dead, I highly recommend you playing through that as well, because they do the comic book version of The Walking Dead.
And I've never read the comics, and I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I got hooked on The Walking Dead when the show was in season 2, and I was actually going through withdrawal on another show, so I kind of binged through 2 seasons of Walking Dead, and since then that's it.
The game is fun. The game's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks fun. Like, I definitely want. There's a lot of games I want to play, but I have to watch not to jump around too much.
Yeah. What so would you say WoW is your favorite game?
Yes.
Nice.
It's like I said, it's like this love affair where I love World of Warcraft for many reasons. There's reasons I love it because of the game, because I get to, like, I love playing the priest class, and I always will. People make fun of me, and this came up recently when I was leveling with somebody, and they were like, play something other than a healer. I'm like, I just don't want to. Don't. Like, I need a class that has a healing utility that's not just like, they've given pretty much every class and a button for something happens.
I'm a rogue, so I will never play anything other than a rogue.
So I have a little rogue experience back in the days of twinking.
Oh.
I had 19 rogue, and I used to just enjoy PvPing with that rogue, that little 19 twink rogue.
Yeah, I can't.
That's it. That's as much PvP. Roguing as I have.
I can't PvP. I mean, I have a lot of alts and stuff, and I have some healer. If I'm not playing the rogue, I like to play either my I call her Utter Healing. It's a Tauren shaman. Utter Healing, and she's a healing shaman. So
I love it.
She's a lot of fun. I like playing her.
I love the name though, because I love Tauren.
Taurens are my favorite in the game, honestly. They are my favorite race in the game, even though my rogue is a blood elf.
Yeah, my main priest is a blood elf, and But little fun fact is that I love cows IRL, so I always associate
Nice.
Torin with cows.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I do love cows. People know that about me.
So, what would you say attracts you so much about WoW? Is it just the community?
Yeah, well, the community is what grabbed me. When I first started playing the game, I started playing with the person I was dating at the time. Like we kind of got into it together, but then I saw that there was this whole community. It was like my first experience with an MMO, a true MMO. And then I made some really amazing friends that I still have to this day. One of my best friends in the world happens to be she and I were at first we were just guildies together, and then we were raid leaders together, and then like we became best friends. And so
Nice.
it's I think it's just because when you're in a game like that and you're working together back in and I'll say this all the time with WoW, back in the days when it was hard and like 40-man raids and we had to like run things together, we had to orchestrate things together. It was like it's almost like a bonding experience when you
It is.
put all that hard work in and then it pays off when you actually down a boss, like as a 40-man guild. And it's before WoW Progress was even a thing, and all you could really do was parade around whatever major city, your faction was, and say, "Hey, we killed this boss." And it was kind of like, it was it just that's my main appeal, and it still has that. I still meet people all the time through that game and Blizzard games in general. So it will always be my favorite.
I'm with you there on that. You do create, like, I'm still friends with people I started playing the game with back when I started playing the game, which was at the very beginning. I started towards the end of Burning Crusade. Although I had a lot of friends try and get
First
me.
expansion, though.
I had a lot of friends try and get me in vanilla WoW, and I was like, that was when I was ignoring my nerdiness and not embracing it. So I was like, no.
It's so much easier to embrace it now, though.
It is. So I'm curious, what game character would you say you most closely identify with?
Well, I mean, it's if I go back into lore, it's hard to say. I'm a huge fan, not just because it's part of like my gamer name. I'm a huge fan of Garona, but my character, my actual priest, and this is like a little it started out as like a funny thing that I said, but now it's like a real slogan of it's kind of like my way is when I say I play support class IRL, it's true. Like I don't just act as like a healer in the game. I play like I'm like that in real life. So when I play this priest, and I used to go out and do recruitment for my guild, and I used to help people get geared, and I used to help people back when attunements were things. I used to make sure people were attuned, taken care of, had all their their consumables. Like I've always been that kind of person. So I definitely relate to my priest.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know, I just like being that way.
I think Amina, who I interviewed a few podcasts ago, also said that she related to her character, which I can't remember now what it was. I want to say it was a priest.
Yeah, it's probably a priest.
I want to say it was a priest. Her main is a priest, but by the way, side note, I love how most of the interviews have been women who play Blizzard games. I'm sorry. That's just, I don't pick the people. You guys come to me.
Yep.
So I find this amazing that I can talk Blizzard with so many people. This makes me so happy.
It's pretty awesome. When I long time ago had a podcast with two of my former guildies, we had it was a Blizzard podcast.
Nice.
Strictly like Blizzard, and it's awesome. I definitely I agree with you there, and I hope that every guest, at least from here on forward, has. I'm sure that because Blizzard is not just World of Warcraft, there's probably going to be some aspect of Blizzard gaming with everybody we speak with or you speak with.
Well,
so,
I mean, it's now under EA, so
oh yeah, true.
you know, you have that combination, which I love that they still are allowed, you know, Blizzard is still its own thing. It's not like EA and Blizzard. No, it's just Blizzard is still its individual thing.
Yeah.
But it allowed Blizzard to expand into the FPS world and other things because it allowed them to be able to pull in, you know, that other. I think that's part of the reason why Overwatch got so popular is because you have the people from Call of Duty and all of that stuff under EA that has come and is like, oh, okay, well, this is kind of all right, you know, so.
I'm thrilled that FPS was introduced, and
me too.
I didn't plan on being so hooked on that game. I thought that I was gonna like play it when it came out. Yeah, it's fun, but no, it's become a thing. Like that's Overwatch is a huge chunk of my what I like to do with my community. So I think Blizzard has everything. I don't think there's if you look at the list of games now, like there's something for everyone, and I love that.
Oh God, yes. So do you tabletop game?
So back in the day, yes, like high school, like school days, yes. It was something that really I didn't really advertise that I did because it's crazy how things have changed, how now it's like socially acceptable, but back then when I was in school, it was like you got beat up for that kind of stuff. But no, I used to. It's harder now because I've moved around so much in the past couple of years that you need obviously people who are into that, live close enough to do it. So I don't, unfortunately. And plus, I tend to rage with games sometimes, like tabletop games. I don't like to, yeah.
Yeah, I rage on Monopoly all the time.
You know what? Okay, so my family refuses to play. Anybody that knows me will not play Monopoly with me. They just don't. And then I had friends that my guildies we played it on back when it was on Xbox, and we played it there, and then I stopped getting invited.
Oh.
So yeah, I get super. It's the competitiveness.
Yeah.
And I think also that's why I love healing so much is because it's not so much like a competitive thing. Hey, you guys are fighting it out to the death. I'm just keeping you alive. You know, like it's more my speed, more my style.
It keeps you relaxed. And you enjoy the game.
I wouldn't say. Well, there were some times.
Yeah, healing can get pretty tense. Not gonna lie there.
I remember when I was streaming Sinestra attempts, and I just like wanted to break something as a healer. That was very hard for a healer. But no, I mean, yeah.
Sorry.
Gotta love people who like to stand in stuff. Like, let's stand in the poop on the ground and let you heal through it.
So, are there any games that you're excited that's coming out this year?
Well, not coming out. I wish would come out. I'm a huge Portal person, and I wish, and I hope, and I dream that Portal 3 is a thing.
Oh man, I love Portal. Those games were great.
I'll go back and play them after it's been long enough that I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Because you do, like, you will forget. You'll forget, like, you know, the solutions. And also there's multiplayer in Portal 2, so that's fun. I like to drop my friends off of light bridges. That's, you know.
Nice.
Gotta have fun with it. The multiplayer, the whole aspect is to troll your friends, but
I love the multiplayer when it
fan.
came out too. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back and redid it, both of them on the Girlstreamer channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, because it's been a year and a half since I'd played both games. And I was like, I got through the first one pretty quickly, but there were like 2 areas. I was like, I don't remember how to do this. And I had to go look it up because it took me so long to find the solution. I was like, why can't I figure this out? And I had to look it up. I had one like
that too.
It's like, I should have remembered that. And then I looked up the
solution and I thought to myself, are you serious? Was it really that simple the whole time?
Yes. And I did it on stream too. I'm like, God, I'm horrible, man. Why don't I remember this?
I did it on stream also, and then the chat room was laughing at me because they knew the answer the whole time.
Of course they did.
Mhm.
Oh
What are
my
you gonna do?
gosh. So would you say Portal then is one of the games you would want to have rebooted or remastered?
Definitely.
Nice. Are there
Hands
any
down.
other
Yeah,
ones?
I love that game. I like thinking games. I like puzzle games, but I also, I mean, obviously I enjoy healing and stuff, but um yeah, I'd be all over that.
Uh I'm with you there. That's such a good game, man. I like those thinking games. What who inspires you? We're gonna start getting into the little nitty-gritty now.
Okay, let's do it.
So
Let's do it.
who inspires you to be the woman that you are today?
That's crazy.
It doesn't
I
have to
mean,
be just
it's
one
crazy
person.
because the person isn't around anymore, but my best friend in the whole wide world, my soulmate, my soul sister, she passed too early. She was 26 when she passed away, but ever since she left a lasting impact on me, and I feel like that every day I try to be, like she was all about she was the one person in the world who never judged me. She was the one person, she had a lot of compassion, unconditional love. She was like she was kind of like India's in the game, wherein she would just constantly help people even at her own expense. Like that was the kind of person she was, and I feel like she left such a lasting impact on me that I carry on the way that I am because of her. She is largely responsible for the person I am. So, and she always will be, even if she's not, here with me anymore. So I would say that that's probably the biggest impact on my life was my bestest friend in the world. Yeah.
You're
Her
gonna
name
make
was
me
Heather.
cry because my best friend died last year at
Oh
the age of
man.
29. So, and she is exactly that, like you just described my best friend. So I feel you, boo. I feel you
Yeah.
on that one. Best friends are amazing.
And you know what? Like for the longest time, I don't deal with death very well, but then I met another friend who was very much like this. She had a lot of the same qualities, and she just, she kind of showed me that, like, you don't you keep them alive by just being by embracing what was important to them.
Yep.
And so yeah, and I'm really sorry about your friend because it's the hardest thing, especially in somebody in their 20s.
Yeah.
It's that's a tragic loss. So what I try to do now is if I'm having a really hard time, which lately it's not been the easiest of times, but I'll think about what she would tell me because I knew her so well. I mean, we were practically sisters. I knew her so well that I know exactly what she would say. So it's kind of that's what I try to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What what keeps you so passionate about gaming and just the community in general?
The community does keep me passionate about gaming because there was a long period of time there where I wasn't on Twitch for reasons I couldn't be because I had some really serious stuff going on, but the community from the game still existed in my life. So
Aww.
seeing that people still cared enough about me, yeah, and I would still get on, like, obviously at the time I had like a laptop that couldn't really play much of anything, but I would still try to get it on and get on and sync up with my Blizzard pals. And so that is I think the lifeblood of gaming for me. I couldn't do it if it was just me playing by myself and like not having any interaction with people. It wouldn't be as fun. Like, would I still play games? Sure, I'm sure I would, but I don't know that I would be like this invested.
Yeah. And you're right, it is an investment, especially to stream.
Oh yeah, we could go there on investments, but yeah, you're throwing your heart, your soul. You're letting people literally, unless you're doing something that like as a character, you're letting people in to even more of a degree. Like people don't realize this. Like trolls will come through and they'll say whatever they want to say in chat, but they don't realize that you're letting people into, you're sharing something like a part of yourself when you stream yourself and, put yourself out there. So, but I like it just because it's more connection with my community, and we have a lot of fun in my channel. So
nice. What, to give us a little plug, because it is Girl Streamers podcast. What do you like about being a part of the Girl Streamers community?
I found Girlstreamers through one of your streamers, and she's really awesome. She's hanging out right now, and she introduced me to Girlstreamers, and I think that what I enjoy most is, and I hate to bring up the word community again, but just like having not to detract from the dude streamers out there, because they're awesome too. I have many friends, most of my friends are guys, but having this community where you guys like we're together, we have the Discord, like I have so many PMs going between myself and other people in this community because we have a lot in common. And if you're having a really crappy day, or you've had a really there are bad streams. It happens. Just like you have a bad day, you can have a bad stream, and you go to turn to somebody that would understand and not judge you, or not like just say, oh, get over it, suck it up. Girls are more, I think, intuitive in that we are more, I don't want to generalize, but I would say 9 times out of 10, you get more emotional support from your girl streamer friends.
We're a little bit more nurturing in that aspect.
Nurturing, there you go. Yeah. Everybody's been really great. I went through some stuff, and even when I was offline, even when I wasn't streaming, I still remained on the Discord, and I talked with people, and I've made some really amazing friendships. So I would say, to other girl streamers, or even stream viewers out there, it's definitely a great place to be if you're looking for a great group of ladies that are not only passionate about streaming, but the community. It's awesome. I'm glad that it's a thing now, because it wasn't before. Before I went on hiatus, there was nothing like this. So I'm really happy that somebody has forged this kind of place.
We're coming up on a year in just a couple of months for Girl Streamers. Yeah. So we'll have to do something special. So what is your greatest challenge or obstacle that you have had to overcome in your life?
Okay. Going to the deep end again, but I gotta be honest. So up until recently, it would have been a totally different answer, but being a DV survivor and going through an abusive relationship to the point where you lose almost everything, even your community. Like that person, when you're with somebody who is that controlling, they separate you, they drive a wedge between you and your community and your friends. So I nearly lost all of that. Coming back from that, being strong enough to say enough is enough, and getting through it, because it's mentally challenging, because you have to love yourself enough even when you hate yourself. You have to love yourself even when you hate yourself, when this person's made you hate yourself. So domestic violence has become an issue that I've created. I kind of took a negative in my life and turned it into positive by creating a website for it, just because I want people to feel as if they're going through it, if they've gone through it, if they're still not sure that they're ready to go, if they're any place in the cycle of what happens to people who go through this, I want them to have a place to go. So it's changed me. It's changed me for the better. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not. It's not like I am.
And you have nothing over it. You have nothing to be ashamed of either in a situation like that. It's debilitating to be in a situation like that, and that's you didn't know that he was going to do this to you, your significant, or she, sorry. You didn't know that this person was going to do this to you. And the fact that you've been able to make a positive out of it, just, oh man, that just fills my heart.
Yeah, I'm trying. Like for a while, it was pretty bad. I kind of disappeared. People thought that I fell off the face of the earth. But incidentally, the community that I have, they like stuck by and they're still there when I go live. And that, like, I'm like, every time I go live, the first thing I'll say is thank you guys, because this is amazing here. Twitch has become, not just Twitch, but gaming communities in general. Like, people don't realize how supportive a place it can be. It's more than just getting on and messing around in a game. It's a place of support. So that's why, like, the blog for me, it was also an extension of that, so that not only I'm not talking about it on stream all the time, but I want people to know that they have a place to go, that, like, if they need a person, I'll be their person. I don't care if I'm streaming or whatever, I'll be their person. That's just how I am.
What is the website that you linked it to me the other day?
Yeah, I actually scored a good name for it, and I'm really happy because I'm surprised it wasn't taken. It's fearward.com, and there is there's a gaming aspect to it in the title, because obviously I am a gamer and I'm targeting my people, but fearword is also a term in gaming that also crosses over into what the topic of the website is. So that's what I started. And it's just going to be kind of like a place where not only do I blog my own progress and show that there's life after something like this, there's life after somebody tries to take who you are from yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also hopefully going to grow into like a place where people can come and talk about those kind of things. And there's also a lot of resources there, because the one thing that when I was going through what I was going through was finding help. And so I make the resources very visible there, so that obviously if you're in a situation and it's dangerous and you don't have a lot of time to start Googling, where can I go to get help? It's right there. There's like a list.
That's awesome. I glanced at it and it was a very beautiful website. You've done a really good job on it.
Oh, thank you. I'm not a web designer, but I feel like the meaning of it is more important than like the whole,
It's better than any of my websites I've ever done, which I need to actually work on. It'd be nice if I had a website, but I just don't have time. But I think that's really awesome that I'm glad that you are doing better, because I know that it was within the last few months that you've pulled out of it, correct?
I ended it in May, but it took me, so I decided that I was going to stay in that state because I didn't want to be terrorized, not only out of my home, but out of my state, because I had a great job. I had great friends. My photography business was lucrative. But it ended up being that I had to leave the state more recently, because then my life was threatened. So
man.
I made the decision just to say bye-bye to that whole, I'm far enough away now to where it's definitely, if it wasn't a fresh start in May, it's a fresh start now. Because it's definitely far away, back near where I grew up. I'm actually right near where I grew up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
And I'll put that link in the description when I put the podcast up, so people can link to that. So what trait of yours are you most proud of, and what is your greatest insecurity? We're still deep here. We're still deep.
No, I'm like a really open person. I think after what I went through, I'm like I don't really get embarrassed about too much anymore. The trait that I'm most, proud of?
Most proud of.
My ability to unconditionally love, I think, in that I find that it's so important now, being through something where, being through what I went through. I just wish that for all those years that I was in it, that somebody would unconditionally love me. And so it's important to have that, and compassion.
Yeah.
I have those things, and a lot of that, like I said, came from my friend too, who was very much the embodiment of those traits.
Yeah.
But no, I would say that that's really important because I'm the person who will go out and do like the random acts of kindness just because I just want to make somebody's day a little better.
Oh,
And
I love it.
I know it sounds so mushy. Like I'm not really a super mushy person, but I have a big heart. So I would say that. Let's just say it's a big heart.
I love it. I love it. So what would you say is your greatest?
The insecurity is, this kind of brings me to the other blog that I run because I'm on a weight loss journey right now. And for the longest time, I was like, maybe I shouldn't stream until I hit my goal. But then, through the support and encouragement of my friends in my community, they're like, we love you. We don't want, we just want you to be around, and like, don't punish yourself because the relationship that I went through, like, threw a good 60 pounds on me, So it's an insecurity. Obviously, it's not something I'm happy about, but it's just another thing to work on, and it's another thing to overcome, and I will, and I am. So it's kind of, I can't wait to hit the goal, but at the same time, it's, until then, it'll be an insecurity, I think.
And I hate to say it, but when you struggle with your weight, even when you do hit that goal, it's still always an insecurity because you still feel fat. You still feel like the fat girl when you do hit that goal. I know a lot of friends who have done that. I also struggle with that, so I feel you on that. And I also have a weight loss blog. So
do you?
Yes.
I would love to see it because I started mine a while ago. I actually have to resurrect it because what happened with the incident with the relationship that kind of interfered with it.
Yeah.
I actually had a celebrity fitness trainer sponsor me. Like, that's how far
nice.
I was going, and it all got intercepted by the D-bag X. But I'm not giving up. That's the thing. Like, I'm not giving up. I've lost, like, the past 10 days, I've lost like 7 pounds, which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is sharing it with the community versus hiding it. What I started doing was Instagram. Like, I'll take pictures of the healthy choices that I make. And when I went out to the gym the first day of the new year, I did a little video hello to people and tell them what I'm doing. And like, I think sharing it keeps you accountable because then you're putting it out there that you're doing it.
I agree.
Yeah.
What is your weight loss blog?
Fit Gamer blog.
Fit Gamer blog. Oh, I like it. Cute.
Yeah.
Fit Gamer blog. We'll put both of those in the in the description. Mine is World of Weight Craft.
Oh my God, that's awesome! I love that. So,
yeah.
Do you do like what I was gonna do was go through the World of Warcraft cookbook and modify the recipes to be like a little healthier?
I was gonna do that.
No way. See, we should do it. We should pick recipes and do it and do like IRL food buffs every now and again.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it's turned into just a health blog in general. Because I've been I now have a third podcast now. This is my second podcast, and I have a third podcast, which is a mental health podcast. And my blog is so it has encroached into the mental health realm. Because I lost 4 people that were very close to me last year. I had 4 deaths last year.
Oh man.
On top of a bunch of other stuff. So,
wow.
But this isn't about me, it's about you. But,
no, I think it's about us.
But
I've been an interviewer more than I've been an interviewee and a guest. And I think it does,
it's so
common.
I'm with you on that whole aspect, the loving yourself. I mean, it's especially when you lose someone or you go through, I also have had an abusive relationship in the past. And so when you pull out of that, holy cow, it's hard to pull out of something like that. It really, really, truly is.
That's what I feel like people don't understand. I lost a lot of friends because they're like, well, you deserved it because you didn't leave sooner. And it makes me so angry when people say that because you're not in it. You don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah.
It's so much more intense, and it's like 24/7 psychological warfare. You're not yourself. You don't have all of your faculties because that person has done such a number on your judgment, So yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're right.
I'm there with you.
And it's funny, the podcast I did 2 hours before this was a mental health one, so I'm still kind of on that whole, aspect.
Who would have thought that it would have translated right on through?
I know. But yeah, like it's one of those situations where if you're an outsider, you just have to support that person and just kind of it's hard to be that friend watching them in that relationship, because I have friends that I watch be in abusive relationships too, and you want to like shake. I mean, as an outsider, you want to shake them, but as someone who's been in it, I'm like, I know what they're stuck in.
It must be really hard for an outsider, and actually, my last blog post was about that, because I know that it must be hard to watch somebody that you love or care about suffer, but at the same time, you're not helping them by abandoning them in that kind of way or judging them. The best thing you can do is just say, I'm here if you need me, but I'm not gonna judge you for what you're going through.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. So thank you so much for sharing that. I know that it's tough to share that stuff, but I think it's good to share that kind of stuff because it shows that we are real people.
Yep.
And so many people go through stuff like this. Like, you wouldn't even know. That's why it's good to have blogs like the Fear Ward and your fitness blog.
I keep them separate. I'll mention them on stream from time to time, but I won't really delve into it because people have kind of accused me of oversharing in the past. So obviously I want to put this stuff out there because I do want to share with people, and I want them to know, because I'm not really hiding anymore. But at the same time, I know some people just don't want to hear about it. So I try to maintain that happy medium online when it comes to saying these resources are here for you. Like, if you want them, if you want the health stuff, or if you want some IRL food buffs, I know a lot of people Twitch creative now. I can even do a cooking stream if I want. So
I know that's yeah.
So thinking about it.
You should. You totally should.
Yeah.
You could roll in your blog that way. Roll it into the whole blog.
Yeah, it would.
So, gonna lighten things up a little bit now.
Okay.
Since we got so deep there. Have you ever been trolled?
Yes. Lots. I mean, back when I started streaming, girls, and this is think back to the beginning of Twitch and how many girls actually put themselves on webcam. Not many. The community, there wasn't a huge viewer base. So there was a lot more viewers in that there wasn't a lot of streams to watch. So a lot of trolls came through, long story short. And back then I used to get really upset about it. My heart would jump up into my throat, and I would start my face would turn red, and I'd get all flushed, and what do I do? I'd have a little panic attack, and I'd turn off my webcam. Now doesn't happen. You go through enough in your personal life, and you develop a thick skin. I've got such a thick skin to it now, and I'll either try to, and a lot of people don't, some of my mods don't like when I do this, but I'll play with the trolls. I'll kind of give them some of their own medicine, but in kind of just a funny kind of way. I won't be mean to them. But 9 times out of 10, my mods are very relentless with the ban hammer, so they'll just take care of it before I can even see it. Yeah.
Mods are pretty good. My mods like to troll them back a lot.
It's fun though sometimes. It really is.
Especially when it's a really stupid comment, really you couldn't think of anything better kind of comment, It's we gotta troll this guy back,
Yeah. Sometimes you got to. You play with them, exactly, you know, like it's
Oh my God.
depends on what I'm doing. If I'm playing something intensely and I need to focus, then yeah, just like, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Uh, so what advice would you have for any new person getting into streaming?
So the most important thing I would say, this is like the first and foremost thing, what would be, what are your reasons for wanting to stream? If you want to stream for money or for viewers, like do it because you might be disappointed. You do it because you want to maybe bring yourself into a higher level of interaction with your community, or do something where you're showing people your POV to help them or whatever. Like for whatever your reason, make sure it's for the right reasons, because when I first started streaming, it was more of just, oh, I'm going to show people my game POV so that they can see how I'm doing things. I didn't actually stress things like, because there was no partnership, there was no revenue. It doesn't seem to be, it's almost not even a problem until you're starting to sink a lot of your own resources into the stream, money, time, you know. So when you start, just do it for fun. People will see that you're having fun and they'll jump on with you. If you're not having fun, like I've seen streamers, and some of them are even friends of mine, and I hate to say it, but they'll sit there the whole time and like every 5 minutes it's, I haven't hit my goal yet. I haven't hit my goal yet.
Yep.
I'm going to keep streaming until the tip goal is hit for the night because I need to have this much in tips, and people don't want to hear that.
Nobody's going to donate to someone who's begging.
Or just harping. I mean, like, I just sit there, I have a really good time, and one time, like, right after the holidays, one of my regular viewers came through and just kept throwing 1,000 bits at a time, and I was just like, whoa, what's going on? Cheering is fun. I certainly don't ask for it, but it's fun when it happens. I just like, it's all about the people for me. So if you're getting into streaming because you want to have fun, you want to do something new and exciting and like bring a community together, if you have like a guild of people in game and you want to like kind of add a more interactive aspect to it, go for it. There's so many free programs available now, because back then I had to buy XSplit. I had to purchase like all of my, I mean, you don't need much to get started anymore. It's pretty simple. And
I just updated my microphone only because I have so many podcasts now, but I've been using, before this week, I was using a headset, and microphone.
Oh,
which they're cheap.
What did you get?
Oh, I got the AT 2100. It was on sale on Amazon for $55 when I bought it.
Wow, and I got the AT 2020.
I thought about getting
pink over there, so I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I just got just a windscreen, just to put over it so that
Is that the pink thing?
Yeah, that's the pink thing.
I love that.
I got like I got 8 colors for like $5, so I can change out the color when I want to.
That's awesome.
Then I got the arm for like $35. Arm and shock mount for like $35. So total, yeah, it was like $98 total. So, which it was needed because my stuff was starting. I needed to sound more professional. Now you guys get to hear me sound like this.
I'll do that from time to time in my stream. People enjoy that. Yeah.
I was. Side note. The first night I got it, I streamed just to test it out, and I was reading from Harry Potter in a really sexy voice. It was pretty hilarious.
Ooh. And I missed this?
It was pretty hilarious.
Somebody asked me to do that with a different book, but I think I might get kicked offline if I did that.
Oh my god.
I would read anything. I would do that. Yeah, I would do it as long as it wasn't like reading something against TOS,
Yeah. So,
it's fun.
You have any cool tattoos, scars, or piercings?
Okay, I just have the regular piercings in my ears because I'm kind of like, I think I'm too much of a wimp to get anything else pierced, just because the pain. Um, the tattoo thing is something that I think is going to happen soon. I want to get something
Ooh.
symbolic of kind of what I went through, where I'm going, and also somewhere in it, the number 13 for myself and the friend that I was telling you about. And
Nice.
so that's not a thing yet. It's something I want to do. And then the scar, yes. So up until when you asked me about like the whole life change, like the what am I most proud of, I guess, coming through or something like that. And
Your
I told you
most
about the abusive
challenging
relationship.
obstacles. Yeah.
Yeah. So before that, the answer would have been nearly dying.
Whoa.
But not anymore. Yeah. So a long, long time ago, I had this surgery, and like, so now I have a battle scar, and it's you know, it's not insanely noticeable because over the years it fades.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of something for when I first had it, I was like super insecure about it, and now it looks just kind of like I got in a really cool fight.
Nice.
Like right along my ribs. So whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I highly recommend tattoos. I got a tattoo for my best friend when she died too, and she actually got to see it before she passed. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
See, I do want to do something. I just want it to be something that's special and not a pre-canned one. I would definitely have it drawn up, custom, made.
I have an amazing tattoo artist, and I went to him, and he designed the tattoo that I got for in honor of my wedding. And I was like, look, I want this design to fit in with this other tattoo. But here's the story, blah, blah, blah. And so I came back to him, and he just designed this just beautiful. And, being a creative person, I know how it is to be like, have people standing over you, telling you what to do. So
yeah,
I'm like, I know that it's a lot easier for you to be creative when I give you kind of the ideas of what I'm looking for, and you create. And
oh yeah,
God,
you definitely need an idea. I think
he
it's
did
going
amazing
on your body.
he did absolutely amazing. I'll have to send you a picture of it later. But so if you
Definitely
come down to Atlanta, I can take you to my tattoo artist.
I might, like I have family in not far away in Tennessee, so.
Well, and then there's Dragon Con, which is a really awesome convention. So
I'm all about, like, for all the cons that I've missed the past 3 years, I just want to make up for lost time. I just want to go to them all. I'm so excited. I feel like I have a new lease on life actually this year. I'm going to do everything I want, and I'm not going to restrict myself anymore.
You have no restraints this year. So
no
you can
restraints.
You can do it.
Indie unrestrained.
That sounds like a video series.
It could be.
That could go several ways.
It could go several ways.
All right. So if there was one person, present or past, you could have dinner with tonight, who would it be and why?
Well, the first person that comes to mind would be Heather, because I miss her so much. The one that I was telling you about. But if it was anybody in the world, living or geez, I don't know. That's such a hard question because my mind is automatically going to go to the loved ones that passed.
Yeah.
Because I miss them so much. I'm not really like so much of a celebrity hound that I would be like, oh, I need to have dinner with. Well, okay. So there's a couple that. Celebrity crushes. Jason Momoa. Dressed as Khal Drogo. Yeah. Speaking as Khal Drogo, actually. Yeah. No, we won't go there.
Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't get started on that because when Game of Thrones was out, my friend had read all the books. And I, of course, was just getting into it for her because that way we could watch it together. Everybody that I liked started dying. Like, I'll start to really like a character and they'll die. And I'm not going to name names because I don't know if any of the listeners are even planning on watching it, maybe haven't watched it yet. But it's like, as soon as you start to love a character, just brace yourself.
Yeah, don't fall in love with anybody because they're probably going to die.
just don't get too attached to anyone. It's not serious.
Well, we have just enough time to do a short Q&A. So for anyone in our Twitch channel, if you guys would like to ask some questions, please feel free to ask some questions. I know one question that is always asked, so I'm going to ask it before anybody else does. What's your favorite food?
Sushi.
Oh, yeah! You are part of Girlstreamers. Heck yeah!
Is that like a common answer? I'm not trying to be cliche or anything, but it's like over the years, and I'm trying to like get healthy, but sushi is like the one thing that you could still have even if you're trying to behave yourself.
Yep. It really is.
Yeah.
And sushi seems to be the consensus. Most people like sushi, so I'm glad.
So we need to have a big Girlstreamers meetup party, and it's gonna be like all sushi.
Yeah.
All
sushi.
kinds. Amazing. Yeah.
Todai in California has really good sushi, just saying. And it's a buffet.
I can't wait to go out to California. I feel like it's where I belong.
My husband is from LA, so we go back to visit family and friends a lot. What is of Monsters and Men, ask, what is your favorite color?
It's probably purple, but also red equally. We'll say purple. Epic.
Purple. It's a good
I do
answer.
love purple. Yeah.
She's not here, but ask for trouble. Always ask a really cool question. If you could live in a gaming world, what world would it be, and what would be your occupation?
Oh my God. Okay, so
yeah, I like that question. She usually is in here to ask it, but
I'm gonna live in Albion from Fable.
Okay.
Because I love the Fable series. R.I.P. Lionhead Studios. I love that it's such a beautifully designed game universe. And I would have to be the hero queen of Albion because I would be like the benevolent, I'm sorry, I'm taking that role because I played through the entire game a million times over. And I've actually written fan fiction about it. Little known fact. I don't put it out there, but it is one. It's a full length novel, legitimately, on fan fiction. So I guess writing about it and having it in my mind that my character did live and do stuff there. It's kind of it would be if it was a possibility, it would be amazing just to be there.
Nice.
Such a beautiful world.
Very nice. Carice asks, one book, one movie, which describes you?
Oh my goodness.
So name a movie and a book that describes you.
That's so oh my goodness. Okay. Well, the last book I read was Nerd Do Well. I'm a huge Peg fan and I'm a nerd. So, I mean, I'll say that. But on a movie note, because I love movies so much. If there's one thing about me, it's that if you looked at my movie collection, you'd say I probably have a problem because there's so many. Man,
I have a bookshelf
it's so
of movies.
Hard to pick just one
a couple
movie.
Of bookshelves.
The last movie that I watched before leaving New York was How to Be Single. And it sounds stupid because it was pretty much like a comedy for all intents and purposes. But at the very end, when you hear that monologue
is that the one with what's her face from Australia? Rebel Wilson?
Rebel. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that movie. I just watched it
amazing.
recently. That's so funny. It's actually a really good movie.
It's but it touched me so much because it's especially going through what I went through before I decided to be completely on my own without any attachments or whatever. It's kind of like the movie's hey, you're going to be okay. It'll be okay. And it just kind of touched me a little bit. But to pick one movie that just says me, I would have to really think about that. It's tough. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Aside. just like that's one thing I have. I have the before the digital intervention and after digital intervention series.
As do we.
So,
My
yeah.
husband is a. I'm looking right now at our Return of the Jedi poster, which is actually before they renamed it. It says Revenge of the Jedi, and it has the date.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hanging up in the office here. My husband is a huge Star Wars nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be really hard for me to like I don't know. But I do love Star Wars, and I love it so much that I don't even watch anything. Like friends ask me, "Why don't you watch Star Trek?" Nope.
I watch Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars better, but Star Trek is fun, especially the new stuff.
For the longest time, though, there was like that divide. I don't even know if there is one anymore. I think it's become more of a. It's not a thing, but back then, there was a thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So
like that movie Fanboys was hilarious.
Do you have any hidden? Sweet Rotten Robin asked, "Do you have any hidden talents or weird habits?"
Hidden talents. Back long time ago, I was a ballerina for 13 years. Then cool. I did 6 years of figure skating, and then I even did some musical theater. So yes, there's a lot of performing in my past. I don't know. Writing is something I do now that I don't really tell people when I, publish to sites like Fiction Press or Fan Fiction, just because I don't expect people to read what I write.
Yeah.
So it's something that's out there. If you know about it and you enjoy it, go for it. But I don't really advertise it. What was the second part of that? Do I have any hidden talents?
Weird habits.
Oh, weird habits. Weird habits. I'm a germaphobe. So, and I think I was talking to you about this before the podcast. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe I'm like actually starting to not feel so great because I'm a germaphobe. I avoid stuff like that. I'm the girl that carries all the, the little hand sanitizer things, and I don't like to touch door handles, and I guess that's a weird habit, but it's a good habit. It's not like OCD level. But
yeah, I'm complete opposite.
I have any other.
I mean, I wash my hands, but
yeah,
I don't like,
which is good.
I wash my hands, but I don't go out of my way to do the, hand sanitizer and all that stuff. You
know what else is weird is it doesn't matter how big of a bed that I have. I sleep on the very edge, like almost falling off. I don't know why. Your guess is as good as mine. That's weird. So
that is a weird habit.
Yeah.
Craigain asks, what superpower would you want and how would you use it, for good or for evil?
I would never be able to be evil in good conscience. But I would want to teleport. I would need to have teleportation because there's people that live far away from me that I would just love to see and hang out with and hug. And I could go, like, I could be like sitting here one day, I could finish a stream and I could just teleport myself over to Italy, have like a really amazing espresso and speak Italian with them.
That'd be so sweet.
Yeah.
It'd be so sweet.
And then it could just go anywhere, just in the snap of a finger. I would definitely want to teleport.
Yeah, I like that. So we had, I'm missing the question. I lost it. Oh no. Oh, Scooby asked, do you have a favorite quote?
A favorite quote. Kill them with kindness.
I like it.
Probably. I mean, yeah. And then the quote that I use all the time with my stream is that I play support class IRL. And it's just kind of because it describes me. So I think people kind of get that about me when they hang out with me. You kind of get an idea of kind of person I am.
Yeah. So, Oh, she asked another question, and I guess I missed it. Oh, I asked a question similar to that, Scooby. Sorry, that's why I skipped it. Um, her question just elaborates on the question I asked. What gaming world you would live in. It's just, if you could live in any world, what would it be?
I mean, there's parts of World of Warcraft that I would definitely visit. There's some beautiful areas, but there's also some scary areas. It's not like I want to go to Darkshire and have Stitches chasing me down the road, you know?
Oh, come on. Everybody wants Stitches.
That was my first experience with an elite mob as a new WoW player, and I'll never forget it. Because the people who have been in the game, like the guildies, they would all they would wait for it to happen. Oh, wait till she sees this thing. She's going to get murdered by it. We're all going to laugh.
Oh, God.
It's kind of like an initiation thing. Yeah. Incidentally, and I know, people, listeners can't see, but I do have Stitches here. He is here. He's been here for the whole interview.
So cute.
he is really adorable, and I love him. He's my little plushie.
Oh my God, that is so cute.
Eventually, the goal is to have like, I'm so jealous. Perculia's wall of Blizzard stuff is amazing. I need to have something like that eventually, as I rebuild and make what I would love eventually is not to have the green screen up for IRL stuff, but to have like just all of my nerd swag from Warcraft and everything else.
I need to actually readjust my shelves. But I have like all my Funko Pops, but they're directly behind me, but they're not in line of sight of the camera because of the angle that it is. Because I've often thought I wanted a green screen, but I really like the bookshelves that I have back here.
No, I love the bookshelves, especially when it's an entire wall of bookshelves. It's amazing.
Yeah, it keeps going. Like, it's an entire wall of bookshelves. I was asked recently to periscope my bookshelves. I was like, that's weird, but okay, I guess. But I need to reorganize them because they're not in any order. We just kind of shoved them up there, and I don't like to dust. So I need to dust them.
Who does? If they're really full, though, then they don't get, like, if they're really full of stuff, then it's not really much to do.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to dust when you're full. I mean, it just, yeah. But I think that's actually the end of, I think that's the end of the podcast. So where and when can we find you?
So everything and everywhere is IndieGarona. It's kind of universal. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. IndieGarona is the name that you can find me under. I don't YouTube as much as I do live streaming anymore, so definitely check out the live stream. And the schedule right now is that I've been doing late nights a lot lately. But I do want to transition into doing a couple of day streams a week, just because I have viewers from all over, and I feel like some of them really miss the normal hours for them. Yeah. So right now the set schedule is really not in effect, but I'm hoping to develop one, and that would be really nice to have one day soon.
Cool. Yeah, I've got some friends in Australia that I've started streaming during the day. I started a day stream just so we can play together, Overwatch together. But thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. This has been a fantastic interview. I love getting to know you guys more. It's been awesome getting to interview you, and I'm glad you're back in full force.
Oh, thank you so much. And this was such a great way to kick off the new year for me too, because it's like so many different things starting over. And Nymph, I really appreciate you having me here. It's been fun.
Awesome. This has been a Girlstreamer podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Fresh Designs, Punks Paracords, Simple Jerky, UN Racing Chairs, and Glom Tom. If you go to UN Racing and I believe Glom Tom as well, you can get a discount code using the word Girlstreamers. Links to all these amazing sponsors are down below, so please feel free to click. Thank you guys for all your support. Please follow us at Girlstreamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit us on our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can also donate to Girlstreamers via GameWisp, and if you donate, you get an opportunity to join us in our Discord and talk to these awesome girls live. You can also buy some super cool gear on our website. I'm sorry, not on our website, on our online shop at designbyhumans.com/shop/Girlstreamers. And you can find Indie on Twitter at IndieGarona, IndieGarona, and Twitch at twitch.tv/IndieGarona, IndieGarona. Our next podcast will be January 22nd, right here, same time, with Ashley, aka the Biz Cliz.